We got the tools. We got the talent. And of course, the notes. Let me squeeze those down like so I can see all this. Alright then, so last time remember we did the investigation part of this madness, and now we are entering the 5th trial, which should ultimately be quote-unquote the last trial according to Monokuma. But of course, you can't trust what this bear says. So, we're going to continue like so. And just pick up on the pre-trial prep. Notes are in play. Let's see, what kind of skills do I have in play? Trigger happy, downshift, melodious voice, vocabulary, and fine sword, and moonsault. Let's go.
Now then, let's begin with a simple explanation of the class trial. During the class trial, you'll present your arguments for who the killer is and vote for who done it. If you vote correctly, then only the blackened will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong person, I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and that person will earn the right to leave this island. Oh my, Mommy? My cute little sister? You're awfully quiet. What's happened to you?
She has words.
You've ascended the ladder of adulthood and reached the moon? Because you're a rabbit?
Oh, by the way, it is Lunar New Year, so it is the year of the rabbits. Oh, it is. She mad. She be mad. God, excuse me, I'm trying to cover up because it's freaking cold. It's 51 degrees.
Chesto! One more time! Jeez! How about this one? This will be my final blow!
She's taking all the beatings. I think it basically says she had enough of this shit.
It's useless.
Please stop! I feel bad for Monomi.
You're right. Now's not the time for me to horse around with Monomi. The class trial has started after all. The victim this time is Nagito, who is attempting to reveal the traitor for everyone's sake.
Or for his own. Take your pick.
Who in the world killed him? I'm so curious.
Oh, I'm sure you were, sir.
If he was killed for trying to reveal the traitor, that traitor was obviously the killer. They were trying to shut Nagito up.
No, that might not be it.
Try to make sure I'm nice and slow.
Huh? Are you trying to protect the traitor? They didn't call out when we were in danger. Wait. Don't tell me you're the traitor.
Don't say something so stupid! There's no way in hell I'm the traitor!
Now that's more like it. Why don't you guys hurry and start arguing already?
The traitor. And the killer who murdered Nagito is here. Are they the same person? My choices.
The killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
So that's why he was so beat
Messed
up.
up on that one.
What were they trying to find out by torturing him? Definitely the bomb's hiding place. If so, the suspect is whoever found the bomb first.
That was Fuyuhiko. I found it by coincidence. There's no way I'd torture someone.
Nagito's wounds. Were they really caused by torture? But the point of torturing someone is to make them reveal information, right? It's pointless if they can't talk.
The killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito. No, that's
There we
wrong.
But Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape, so he wouldn't have been able to confess anything. If he was being tortured for information, they wouldn't have taped his mouth like that.
I'm prepared. Ah, I just realized it. It's a trap.
Trap?
Stupid Hajime. You got caught in that trap.
Stupid!
Like you said, if Nagito's mouth was taped shut, you obviously assumed he couldn't talk, right? But that what? He wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
Kazuichi seems unusually confident. I should ask him why that is.
Like you said, with Nagito's mouth, you obviously assumed he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. He wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
I can't back down!
Just a bit more, and I can draw something out next time.
Like you said, with Nagito's mouth, you obviously assumed he couldn't talk. But that was the trap. He wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
Advance!
You tape his mouth shut. How is he supposed to answer anything?
Pay attention. This is how at first the killer tortured and got information. Then, after they killed him,
Damn it!
like you said, with Nagito's mouth, you obviously assumed he couldn't talk. But that was the trap. He wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
I can't back down!
Okay.
But if you tape his mouth shut, how is he supposed to answer anything?
Pay attention. This is how it went first. The killer got information about the Ben after they killed him. Damn it!
Oh, right. Duct tape.
Like you said, if Nagito's mouth was taped shut, you obviously assumed he couldn't talk. But that was the trap. He wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
But if you tape his mouth shut, how is he supposed to?
Let's see. Right, true play. Oh.
Pay attention. This is how it went first. The killer tortured Nagito and got information about the bomb's location.
Hajime, you idiot! What are you saying? Are you trying to rebut me with that?
Crap! Pay attention. This is how first the killer tortured and got information. Then, after they killed him, allow me to cut through those words.
There we go.
No, there's no doubt Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape before he was beat up.
What did you say?
Who cares about the duct tape? We might as well settle this with rock, paper, scissors.
We don't need to play a game. It's clear the duct tape was on his mouth before the torture even began.
I had to get used to the controls with the rebuttal showdown.
Why do you always side with Hajime? Do you have a crush on him or something?
Excuse you, sir. Are you in elementary school or something?
You were with us when I peeled the duct tape off Nagito's mouth, right? The blood on Nagito's face wasn't under the duct tape, remember?
The blood on his face came from his arm wounds. Which means the duct tape was on his face before his arms were even wounded.
And the duct tape had a lot of crinkles around his mouth. He must have been struggling to open his mouth under the duct tape.
Perhaps the duct tape was used so he wouldn't be able to scream. Then it's like I said at the beginning. The tape wasn't for torture. It was to keep his mouth shut.
However, if they wanted to seal his mouth, they did not need to hurt him with such ferocity.
They probably had a deep grudge against Nagito.
Then, are you saying the killer was trying to make him suffer?
If so, it's freaking crazy. Did they go psycho or something?
No, they didn't just go crazy. Whoever did this must be one crafty bastard. If not, they wouldn't have taken the time to set fire to the crime scene and destroy all the evidence.
The warehouse fire was for destroying evidence?
We can't think of any other reason.
But who could have done that? When the fire occurred, everyone in this room was gathered in front of the warehouse.
Yeah. From right after I opened the warehouse door, the flames started burning from the very back.
Which means it is plausible to think that nobody here set the fire.
The killer isn't one of us. But that's not the case, huh? I mean, it's wishful thinking.
Even if it was only a coincidence, the timing was just too perfect.
Based on the pattern up until now, we should suspect that some kind of setup was used for this.
Some kind of setup? Like what?
I do not know that, but that has been the pattern before.
That's our Miss Sonia.
You have such an amazingly high intellect.
Hashtag I simp for Sonya.
Alrighty then. Let's think about this based on what Miss Sonia thinks. Is that okay, Miss Sonia?
Damn right it is!
The reason for the fire, huh? You're right. We need to clear that up first.
The direct cause of the fire was the oil item found at the crime scene, right?
The killer used some kind of setup. He lit the curtain on fire with the lighter.
Some kind of setup?
Did they use the oil as an improvised fuse?
They probably just threw the lighter. Based on the shape of that oil lighter, it can stand upright while the flame is lit.
If they tipped over the lighter in some way, it could have ignited the curtain.
Some way?
Maybe they used invisible thread.
No.
There should have been a way to tip it over with sound waves.
Or perhaps opening the door caused.
Comes in!
I also agree that opening the door is what started the fire.
Just as I thought, it was the wind pressure. A dust devil blown here from glorious Japan.
What? Soviet? Never mind.
No, not wind pressure. They probably used the Monokuma panels. A huge number of tipped-over Monokuma panels were found at the crime scene, right? It looked like they were scattered everywhere, but some were laying on top of each other in a single line. Just a single line leading from the warehouse door to the fire's origin.
I think I'll just get something to eat after I'm done with this.
Does that mean anything?
The killer probably arranged those Monokuma panels to create a domino effect.
A domino effect. You mean those tiles kids play with by lining them up and tipping them over?
In place of those tiles, the killer used the Monokuma panels. So when we opened the warehouse door, the first panel toppled into the second, and from there, they fell like dominoes until they reached the lighter at the end.
But wouldn't it be obvious that those big panels were falling over?
That's probably why they turned off the lights in the warehouse, so we wouldn't notice them.
So the reason the warehouse was dark was to hide the domino effect.
And one more thing. There was something else the killer did to hide the domino effect, right?
The killer did one other thing to hide the domino effect. Of course. An MP3 player that comes with speakers. The music that was blaring through the speakers. An MP3 player that comes... Yeah, it's this.
I see!
It's this.
You're talking about the MP3 player, right? That hymn blaring throughout the warehouse masked the sound of the falling panels.
The inside of the warehouse felt even darker because of our eyes were still used to the bright sunlight outside. Within that darkness allowed hymnal blare throughout the warehouse at full volume. Hey, do you guys hear something? Yeah, it's really damn loud. How'd you tell like listening to this depressing crap? I'm not talking about the music. And as if on cue, it suddenly started.
That's it. So the strange sound was actually the sound of the panels falling.
But those sounds weren't the only strange thing, right? Looking back on it, it was also strange when we opened the door to the warehouse.
It's fine. I'll open it slowly. No, that's not the problem. Seriously, it'll be fine! Those words Akane brushed off everyone's warnings and slowly opened the door to the warehouse. It's not opening! There's something blocking the door. I can barely open it. I knew it. It's a trap. Seriously, just stop it, okay? And I tell you it'll be fine. I just gotta use a little more force. What happened to opening it slowly? Akane ignored their protests and with a mighty kick, the door flew open.
Ah, so the door was being blocked by a Monokuma panel.
And when we opened the door, the domino effect started. started, and the falling panels eventually reached the lighter.
Yeah, and that's how the warehouse caught on fire. At least, that's how it looks.
You don't look so sure.
At the time, Akane mentioned that she could barely open the door.
Because the panel was blocking it, right?
But the blocked doorway, there wasn't enough space for a person to fit through, right?
Is that a problem?
No.
It's a major problem. I mean, that door was the only entrance to the warehouse.
But that's not all. If that door was the only entrance to the warehouse, let's see. So the problem Chiaki's talking about is the killer couldn't have left.
I see! If the panel was so close to the door that it could barely be opened, the killer inside the warehouse wouldn't be able to leave, right?
Now that you mention it.
Does that mean they were hiding inside?
Who? We were all outside the warehouse, you know.
But based on the patterns up until now, I believe some kind of setup was used.
You don't have to think so hard. There's actually only one person who could have possibly done this.
You don't mean...
But if that's true, this murder,
Hajime? What do you mean?
the person who set up the domino effect inside the warehouse, there's only one person who could have done that. This dumbass right here.
This is my answer! What if it was Nagito?
Why'd you bring him up? He's the victim, you know.
And also the killer.
He wasn't just the victim. Maybe.
Huh?
Not just the victim? What does that mean?
He was the victim, and he was the perpetrator too. Maybe.
Maybe.
Are you saying this was a suicide? Don't be stupid. His body was covered in torture wounds. Or did you already forget? Are you saying those were all self-inflicted?
Yeah.
But Nagito might do something like that, don't you think?
That's not the issue. He was tied up, remember? Even for a creep like Nagito, it'd be impossible for him to tie up his own arms and legs.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, as long as you understand.
It seems we need to discuss how Nagito was able to tie himself up.
Need to discuss?
Yeah, we need to discuss that.
That's not necessary at all. No matter how much you think about it, it's clearly impossible.
Like you say, it seems impossible if you think about it, but I feel like I'm overlooking something.
To actually tie up your own arms...
Oh,
No, that's wrong.
Hold on a sec. Isn't that premise flawed?
yeah, right from the get-go.
What? I mean, it's no mistake that his arms and legs were...
No, it shouldn't have been both of his arms. The rope on his right arm was completely burnt up. Based on that, you can't say he was tied up.
That was just burned by the fire. He should have been tied up before then.
It burned because of the fire. Like you said, it might look like that. But that was part of the trap. There's concrete evidence that proves it.
The proof of the burnt sleeve. The proof of that burnt rope on Nagito's right arm is the trap. It's basically the right sleeve.
I see! Take a close look at his right sleeve. Even though the rope was burnt up, his sleeve wasn't burned at all. Wouldn't you agree? A burn like this, no matter how you think about it, is unnatural. That rope was burned in advance so it would look like it was burned in the fire.
Then Nagito's right arm wasn't tied up, right? He was able to move it freely, right?
Yeah, that should be the case.
Hajime, that's awesome! I'll let you cop a feel if you want.
Maybe later.
Akane, you should not give it away for free. Make sure they pay you first.
What? So you... Never mind.
That's definitely wrong.
I double that.
Fine. I just gotta get a Benjamin from him before I let him touch me, right?
That's not what I meant. I'm talking about Nagito. I mean, even if his right hand wasn't tied up, the knife was still stabbed into it, you know.
It's impossible to stab a knife into your right hand with your right hand. Ah, that much is obvious.
Hajime, you tricked me! Give me back that Benjamin!
Not only did she try to charge me, now she wants the money back.
Hold on. There should be a way.
Then hurry up and spill it.
If it's something lame, I'll make you give back the Benjamin with 10,000% interest.
A way to stab yourself in the right hand using only your right hand. There's definitely an answer for this. I shall ready the plushie.
Even if Nagito's right hand was free, how could he stab his right hand with his right hand?
If you threw the knife into the air and let the knife fall, could he stab his hand that way?
No.
Is he a throwing knife expert?
Maybe he propped the knife somehow?
Yep.
I agree with that. A life-size Monokuma plushie. He must have used that to prop the knife.
Makes sense. That's why there was a big hole in the plushie's stomach. He inserted the knife handle into that hole to prop it up. Then he slammed his hand onto it. If that's it, he had to place the plushie near him. And it also explains the mysterious blood on the plushie.
So the blood on the plushie came from Nagito after he stabbed the knife into his own right hand.
I see. So that's the trick.
But for a moment, I seriously thought Monokuma died or something. A bleeding plushie is super scary! It's got the same fear factor as a doll whose hair grows too long!
After stabbing his hand, he no longer needed the plushie, so he cast it off toward the fire's origin point.
Probably thought the fire would incinerate it and destroy the evidence.
So what do you think now, Fuyuhiko?
I get what you're saying about the wound on his right hand, but there's still one huge problem. The spear. Basically, you're saying Nagito committed suicide by impaling himself with a spear, right? If you think about the order, getting killed by the spear should have been the last thing to happen to Nagito. If that's true, how is that possible? He can't grab a spear with his right hand if a knife is stabbed into it and his left hand was all tied up.
Then he probably took the spear first, and as he endured the pain, he stabbed the knife into his right hand.
There is a limit to his constitution.
I'd like to know what that is.
If you got penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die instantly.
Wording! Oh my god, the wording. The thought.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch all that.
Like I said, if you got penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die instantly.
So yeah, I see where this is going.
Say it one more time. I need you recorded. For reasons.
Oh, Jesus.
Hey, bastard, you better cut it out.
I agree.
Like she said, in that condition, it's very difficult to stab yourself with a spear. It'd be hard to use a spear with a knife stabbed into your right hand while your left hand is tied up.
Yeah,
So you're saying it's impossible?
very much impossible.
But no matter what I think, I can't believe Nagito's death was caused by someone else.
I also agree with that. To think that one of us could kill someone with such cruelty, I could never believe that.
Oh, I can believe it. Very easy.
You say you can't believe it? You just don't want to believe it, right? But that's why you keep getting betrayed over and over again, right? Same goes for this time, too.
You just shut your mouth. It's against the rules to interfere with everyone. If you even think about doing anything, I have a plan of my own.
Mamonami's sassing me.
Oh, you don't like that, do you?
But it's just as Monokuma said. We've been betrayed over and over again so far.
True.
So
This is true.
this might also be the same. Calling this a suicide takes too much for granted, and it's too convenient.
And it's too cliche.
Then are you saying there is a killer among us, Kazuichi?
Of course that doesn't include Miss Sonia and me.
Liars.
As Kazuichi said, it's true we've been constantly betrayed. But even if I'm betrayed again, I still want to believe in everyone. No matter how many times I may be betrayed, I still want to believe in everyone.
I also want to believe that there's no killer, but suicide is unimaginable.
Do you really think so?
But you said it too. It'd be impossible for him to stab himself with a spear in his condition.
I did say difficult, but I never said impossible. I feel that there's some way he could have stabbed himself with that spear.
What kind of way?
I don't know.
You don't know.
It's impossible to figure out by myself. So let's think about it together.
That's why we're all here.
That's how. We made it this far up till now.
Everyone working together.
She's right. We made it through several ordeals up till now by doing that. And even now,
All right, let's do this.
ready, the blood on the left hand.
How did Nagito stab himself with a spear? Let's work together and think this through.
When the spear stabbed Nagito, his right hand was covered by the knife, right?
He was only able to move his left hand.
But his left hand was also tied up.
And that rules out his left hand.
No, that's wrong.
Hold on. It's still too early to dismiss the possibility that he used his left hand.
Why? I mean, his left hand was tied up, you know?
But there was something off about his left hand. The bloodstain on the palm of his hand. Don't you think it looked somewhat strange? He only had blood on the lower area of his palm. Beyond that point, the bloodstain suddenly cuts off, right?
When the blood splattered, that's as far as it reached, right?
That settles the description of that bloodstain, but it's not the only unnatural bloodstain. Look, there's blood on the back of his hand, around the middle joints of his fingers.
Like you said, it looks like an unnatural blood stain, but what's wrong with that?
That's unnaturally messed up.
We might need to think and use our imaginations for a bit. If there's blood on his palm and the back of his hand, what was his left hand doing as the blood splattered?
What was his left hand doing? Gripping.
I see.
When the blood splattered, he was probably gripping with his left hand. That's why there's such a strange-looking bloodstain on his palm and the back of his hand.
Of course. Burned.
Was he grabbing his front tail?
Perish the thought! He was obviously grabbing the spear.
Now that you mention it, compared to the rest of his body, the wounds on his left arm are pretty mild. He probably made his wounds mild on purpose, so he could keep his strength while he gripped the spear.
But even if he held the spear with his tied-up left hand, it'd be impossible for him to stab himself.
That's right. That's the problem.
Hey, Chiaki, what do you think? Hey, don't tell me you're getting sleepy.
In times like this, you should always strike from a good angle, just like fixing an old TV.
Got a point there.
Oh, I got it. Maybe.
Really?
Yeah, like I thought. It's no mistake that Nagito was gripping the spear, I think. However, what's important is what section of the spear he was gripping.
What section of the spear he was gripping? The cord.
I see.
That's it. Instead of the handle, Nagito must have been holding on to the cord. There was a metal weight at the tip of the cord, but there were bloodstains on that part too. Plus, the joint between the weight and the cord had a bloodstain shaped like it was cut off by something.
Isn't the size of that cut-off section about the same size as a human fist?
Ah, you're right. So this is the part Nagito was gripping, huh? And then the blood that was supposed to end up here ended up getting on Nagito's left hand.
But why is it so important to know which part of the spear he was gripping?
You're not gonna say he gripped the tip of the cord, swung the spear around, and stabbed himself, right?
That'd just be ridiculous.
That is where the clue to solve this mystery resides. Right, Chiaki? I am sorry. Of course this mystery will not be solved that easily.
Nagito was gripping the cord extending from the butt of the spear with his left hand. But from there, how would he stab himself in the stomach with the spear?
It seems we are stuck. Shall we have tea time?
At a time like this, how about we stick to the plan to think one step at a time instead of expecting the answers all at once?
Yeah, it's right up there with the plot to destroy the Saiyans.
That's a long plan name.
One step at a time. What does that mean?
Let's focus on the spear first, namely, where it was and how it was positioned just before it impaled Nagito.
How it was positioned.
Nagito was facing up. The spear was stabbed through his stomach. So, it's just before that. That's it. Could it be? The spear stabbed Nagito perpendicularly, and he was holding the tip of the cord attachment. If I put those facts together, along with what we found at the warehouse in England, I should be able to figure it out. Where the spear was and what state it was in before it stabbed Nagito. Logic dive! Time to audio surf. It was above Nagito. Next one, I'm looking at it. There's a Sonic 2 right here. If audio survives. Question 2. It was a ceiling. What else, besides the spear, what else was above Nagito? A ceiling girder. Be getting up to number 3 in a bit. Question 3. Let's see. The spear's cord. What item connects both the spear and the ceiling girder? The spear's cord. That's it.
It's all coming together. The spear impaled Nagito as he was laying face up. It must have been perpendicular to him just before that.
Perpendicular? In the middle of the air?
If Nagito did that all by himself, did he have some sort of ESP?
That'd be awesome, but he probably used the ceiling girder directly above him.
Nagito probably slung the cord over the ceiling girder and using that as a support.
You really should. I mean, really, you really should just play it. And if you gotta play it, do it the smart way. With a walkthrough. You gotta have a list in order to basically understand everything.
He hoisted the spear directly above him.
Of course.
And if Nagito let go of the cord, the spear would have fallen and impaled him while he was laying face up.
I noticed a slight red streak on the ceiling girder. It probably got smeared there during the setup.
I did it on my channel, yes. On my main channel, I have done Corpse Party by way of request.
The blood on the cord probably rubbed off on the ceiling girder as the spear was falling. So, how about it? Using this method, Nagito could have impaled himself with the spear.
Are you serious? He really committed suicide? Like that?
Well, I played the PSP version, so... Corpse Party really isn't my cup of tea, but I just did it just for the reason I'm doing other games, just because someone requested I do it. I try it. Just the first game, not the rest of them.
He probably chose that spear so he could commit suicide like that. If someone else did this, there's no reason they'd go to all this trouble just to kill someone with a spear.
So I don't mind doing, requests like this, but, it's like... Some games take longer to do because you have to be mentally prepared to do this. And Danganronpa is one of those games you really have to be mentally prepared to do. Because some of the cases sound really disturbing as all get out.
I agree. When I was investigating this case, I kept thinking over and over how strange it was. Why did the killer use the knife and the spear so differently?
So you're saying he needed to use that spear to pull off his trick?
This is why, when I'm done with this case, I am going out to get myself a drink or something to nom on. Most likely, it sounds like I'm going to get something to nom on.
Then, this is for real? He really committed suicide? Every single wound on his body, that was all him?
And yes, believe it or not, for one, don't consider suicide. Please, folks. On Twitch, on YouTube, whatever, do not. No matter how bad things get in your life, do not contemplate suicide. Many things may go wrong and will go wrong, but that's not because of human error. It's usually the system. But you never give up hope. So therefore, if you have one of those kind of issues that you really cannot talk about, try to talk about it. People do care, people do understand. And they can help you through it, then that's all the better. Thank you.
Not just that, he did all that while he was gripping the spear? That spear should not have stabbed Nagito until the very end. Which means Nagito wounded himself while he was gripping that spear, right?
Did he put the duct tape on his mouth too?
He probably covered his own mouth so we wouldn't hear him screaming in pain.
Did he need to go that far? That's beyond crazy. Why would he do that to himself?
For those who are wondering about Danganronpa, yeah, it takes a lot of mental fortitude to get through one good scene. And trust me, I can only do this in like possibly 2 good scenes. Like I figure, do the story, get that out of the way, then after that, do the investigation. That doesn't take long either, but the longest is going to be the trial itself.
He was probably trying to get us to make a mistake. By committing a suicide that looked like a murder, he was trying to steer us toward the wrong answer. His goal was to get us all executed.
That's why he stabbed himself over and over again?
Did he want us to die that bad?
That's messed up. That's seriously so messed up.
Yeah, that's our Nagito.
He's all messed up. Jeez. Now we're starting to feel a little sympathetic toward him. Stupid. I completely underestimated his capacity for malice. Mind-boggling malice that threatens us even after he's died. That's the form his malice took. I had forgotten all about it until now. If he was here now, he'd probably be sneering at me.
However, there is one thing I still do not understand. He said he would reveal the traitor, right? Whatever became of that?
He was probably planning to kill the traitor along with the rest of us.
So why did he not just do that in the first place? If he had no qualms with killing everyone, he did not have to cause a bomb scare to reveal the traitor.
I bet the bomb scare was part of the strategy behind this trick. He made us split up and search for a bomb so none of us would have an alibi. He created a scenario where any of us could have killed him.
He tried to make us doubt each other. He tried to hide the truth behind his suicide.
Did he cause a bomb scare for that reason alone?
He's a fucking bastard who killed himself for his illusion of grandeur. It's not that unthinkable.
You are right, I suppose.
Yeah, it appears we've come to a conclusion.
He's an asshole.
Bastard Nagito committed suicide. It was all done by him so we could be executed.
Thus, making him an asshole.
That should be okay, right?
What? You're not satisfied yet?
No, I agree that Nagito killed himself, but I feel like there's something that doesn't make sense. It's probably just my imagination.
Why? I mean, I sort of understand what she's talking about. I don't think it's a mistake to assume that Nagito committed suicide, but why do I feel so uneasy about it? Is it because we don't know who the traitor is, or...
So what are you gonna do? Is it okay to proceed with the voting time?
Not now.
What do you think, Connie?
Well, there's no doubt Nagito's death was a suicide. Oh well, I guess my gut is wrong sometimes.
You're right. It is not as though we can draw any other conclusion.
Then it's okay to end it here, huh? That means we're done with this last class trial and we can leave this island, right?
Oh, you would think so, wouldn't you, Kazu?
It's okay to reach such a happy ending, right?
You would think it'd be that easy.
Then it's okay? It's okay to say, you decided on the killer? Understood. Then voting time.
No, hold on a sec.
Hold on. Why?
Sorry, just a little more. I want you guys to wait just a little more. I can't help but feel like there's still something we overlooked.
Like who the traitor is?
Definitely.
But the issue here is who killed Nagito, right? Even if we identify the traitor, the conclusion won't change.
That's true, but
The mystery isn't just about who the traitor is. No matter how you look at it, Nagito's death is a suicide. But I'm a little worried, you know? I'm worried about starting the voting time while there's still a mystery.
Hey, what do you mean it's not about who the traitor is? What kind of mystery is left?
Mystery upon mystery upon mystery.
There's just one thing that doesn't make sense, and it relates to Nagito's death. Plus, it's something even Nagito couldn't influence. He couldn't even tamper with the evidence for it.
Something related to Nagito's death. It's something that even he couldn't have messed with.
You're gonna keep going? Here I thought we were finally finished.
Something related to Nagito's death. A piece of evidence that can... This.
I see! Is it about the Monokuma file?
Yeah, that's it.
Huh? There was something suspicious in the Monokuma file?
The victim is Nagito Komaeda. The body was discovered inside the warehouse near the Monokuma plushie factory. The estimated time of death is believed to be noon sharp. Not only is there a spear stab in his stomach, there are multiple stab wounds on each of his thighs. Furthermore, there is a laceration on his left arm and a knife impaled through his right hand. The suspicious part of the Monokuma file that Chiaki is worried about is what's hidden in the Monokuma file. Something clearly written in the Monokuma file this time. Well, it's not that. Cause of death. Hey, thank you. Cause of death.
I got it!
In this particular case's Monokuma file, there's no specific cause of death.
Not only is there a spear stabbed in his stomach, there are multiple stab wounds on each of his thighs. Furthermore, there is laceration on his left arm and a knife impaled through his right hand.
Isn't that weird? Until now, the files always specified the cause of death.
But the cause of death is obvious, is it not? The spear in Nagito's stomach. It is obvious just by looking at it that it was a cause of death.
Maybe it's not included if it's not important enough to write about it.
Well, Monokuma, I plead the fifth!
There he goes again! I'm so appalled that I have nothing to say.
But even during Gundam's case, and before during Recon's case, the thing he purposely omitted from the Monokuma file was always the most important mystery in the case.
Which was the cause of death.
Are you saying that applies this time too?
Hold on a sec. Then, are you saying there's more to Nagito's death? Are you suggesting, again, that his death wasn't a suicide?
Yes, again.
You guys were the ones who said it was a suicide in the first place.
No, I don't think it's a mistake to call Nagito's death a suicide. But, it's not just a suicide.
It's something more than a suicide.
Come to think of it, did Nagito really commit suicide just to get us all killed?
Are you sticking up for him?
That's not what I meant. I mean it in a bad sense.
Bad sense?
I just remembered that his malice always defied our expectations, and that concerns me. For example, would that malice just end here?
Huh?
Did Nagito's malice drive him to risk his life for a truth we'd reach this easily?
Nope.
I mean, this is Nagito we're talking about, you know?
Yep.
How interesting! You sure do believe in Nagito, huh? Because you believe in his malice, you continue to suspect his malice. I see. I guess that's what passes for friendship these days.
What friendship?
Again?
What should we do, you guys? Should we proceed with the vote? I think we should keep going until everyone is satisfied, even if it's just to be safe.
You were right. We only get one chance to vote after all.
Just to be safe, huh? Guess I have no choice. If that's the case, I'll do my best to go along with it.
This is friggin' annoying. But if you guys say you're doing it, there's no way I'm gonna back out.
Hey, Monokuma, you heard us. The voting's gonna have to wait.
We've come this far. Let's work hard till the very end. If we work together, everything should be all right. That's what I believe.
Oh, splendid. You guys are so splendid right now. That's right. If all your hopes are united, no despair can shake you.
If all your hopes are united, no despair can shake you, huh? Now that I think about it, Nagito said the same thing. The absolute hope that can overcome any despair. He said he was yearning for that. Then the situation we're in might be the thing that Nagito wanted all along. No, never mind. I'm probably overthinking. Time to suspend!
No.
Man, my heart was racing like crazy when I thought the voting time was gonna start, but if you think about it rationally, there's no way it was gonna happen. You haven't done this bit yet. Most of the players probably figured that out too. You're the only one who didn't know. Is that right, Monami? Hey, how much longer are you playing Assault? Let's get along like we always do. Alright, you passed! Friendship is measured by how long you can stand the silence when you're all alone with someone else. So, Monami and I are the bestest of best friends. Say such stupid things. I hate you so much right now. to be hated that much. Besides the fact that you snap at me like that, I don't trust you at all. Not even a teensy tiny 1mm bit. How sad. Distrusting your friend is much more shameful than being betrayed by that friend, you know. We aren't even friends in the first place. But as your older brother, let me say this. You're not even my brother! It's sad to live a life without friendship. That's even sadder than watching a high school rom-com full of guys! Maybe some demands for that. I fell for it! I totally took the mandate! Try it! Resume!
I'm Nanami. By now, there's nothing more for me to say.
Oh, thank God.
Anyway, my chest is full of pride right now.
You have nothing to show for it. Good day.
Everyone is united against despair. They're totally awesome. That's why I'm gonna fight too. I will fight the only way I can. I'm gonna show that guy my fearsome retaliation. That's basically it.
And she's saying this all in her head.
So if we're working together, where do we start? With the cause of death missing from the Monokuma file?
Why don't we try removing all our preconceived notions before we discuss this? In the beginning, our discussion advanced by assuming Nagito's death was caused by the spear. It's better to confirm if there are any other possibilities. That's what I think.
Other possibilities.
If something other than a spear killed Nagito, all I can think of is the knife stabbed into his hand, but...
That was definitely a gruesome wound, but it wouldn't be the fatal wound, don't you think?
If you think the cuts on his legs and left arm aren't the fatal wounds,
Are we finished already?
I feel like it's possible that we overlooked something.
Overlooked.
Then let's bring up whatever we can think of, one after the other. That might clear some things up.
Exactly! We should cooperate at a time like this.
Fatal wound that wasn't the spear. We don't even know if it actually exists, but if it does, we need to find out what it is no matter what. Ready!
Let us consider a different fatal wound.
It's not the knife in his right hand, right? It's not the other wounds, right? With all those wounds, maybe he simply bled to death.
Nah.
There's no way he burned to death.
Nope.
Was the cause of death something that cannot be seen?
I agree with that.
Yep.
That's it. I totally forgot about that possibility. If the cause of death was something we can't see, then we have to consider poison as a possible method.
It is true that poison is not something we can see, but why did you bring that up all of a sudden?
Well, poison is a weapon. It's a biological weapon. Think about it. You can't see it, but it exists. And there are so many ways that you can die from poison.
I remember investigate Nagito's cottage, I discovered something really strange. Inside the refrigerator, I found a bottle of Monokuma's special poison.
Poison?
Additionally, that's a poison made specifically for killing. I see. Now that you mention it, there's no way a toxin like that doesn't relate to the case at all.
If poison was the cause of death, it would not leave an obvious wound on Nagito's body.
However, it's common for blood blotches to appear on the body that's been poisoned.
I see. You sure seem to know a lot about medicine.
What does that mean?
But even if blood blotches appear, if the body was already covered in blood, there's no way we'd notice them easily, right?
Did he wound his body just to camouflage them?
That's also a possibility.
But still, both of Nagito's hands were full. So how would he drink poison?
His left hand was tied up in the grip of his spear, and his right hand had a knife stuck in it.
If it was a slow-acting poison, it is possible he consumed it in advance.
No, the warning label on the bottle explicitly states the effect is instant.
Then it's impossible. Both his hands were full just before he died.
And this is when the hardtail appears.
You're totally overvaluing that tail.
His mouth was covered with duct tape. If he wanted to drink poison, how did he get it past his lips?
If there's no way he could have drank the poison, it might be impossible. Just kidding. It's not like we're out of possibilities yet.
Are there any left?
Hell no! No matter how you slice it, he was totally killed by that spear.
Since we've already ruled out so many possibilities, it might be easier to think about what really killed him. Operation Elimination Method. The hint should be written on the poison's warning label. Maybe.
The poison warning label, sir. This enchanted liquid is highly potent and takes effect immediately. Please handle with care. Though its volatility is low, this liquid is very dangerous when vaporized. In a gaseous state, it's heavier than air, it breaks down in minutes, and is susceptible to hydrolysis. So it's possible for you to poison someone to death without any complications. Keep this liquid secure by storing it in a cool place in a glass or plastic container away from sunlight. The way the poison entered Nagito's body, the answer is written on the warning label. Logic dive! There's only two here. All my audio search training paid off for this one moment. What state was the poison in when it affected Nagito? Yes. questions will be coming up pretty soon. Right about now. How did the poison enter Nagito's body? Easy. Through his nose. Think about it. If it's instantaneous, that means no matter how, the poison will affect you. So that means oh, you can't taste it, but you can smell it.
What if instead of drinking the poison, we assume he inhaled it?
Yeah, because, you know, instantaneous. You take one sniff, you're dead. It's just like if you're tasting it, you're dead. If it comes in contact with you in any sort of way, whatever poison it is, if it's instantaneous, you're dead.
Inhale?
It's written on the poison's warning label.
This enchanted liquid is highly potent and takes effect immediately. Please handle with care. Though its volatility is low, this liquid is very dangerous when vaporized.
Dangerous when vaporized. In other words, breathing in the gas is fatal.
Poison gas! Then all he had to do was breathe it in through his nose!
He breathed that poisonous gas inside the warehouse? But if poisonous gas had spread throughout the warehouse, why didn't it kill us?
The reason we didn't breathe in the gas the sprinklers. I guess I should be able to explain that mystery too. Sprinklers.
I see! The sprinklers in the warehouse. Thanks to those, we didn't inhale that poison gas.
The poison gas disappeared because of the sprinklers? It wasn't the fire?
Well, this was also written on the poison warning label.
In a gaseous state, it's heavier than air, breaks down in minutes, and susceptible to hydrolysis. So it's possible for you to poison someone to death without any complications.
Of course! Hydrolysis! The chemical bonds that formed the poison were broken down by the water from the sprinklers!
Also, the poison is apparently denser than air, so it probably didn't affect us because we were standing.
But Nagito was lying down, so he must have breathed in a whole bunch of it.
If it meets the requirements that well, maybe it's not just a possibility anymore.
Yeah, the true cause of Nagito's death was poisoning. The wounds on his body, the spear in his stomach, it was all to keep us from learning the truth.
So what?
Huh?
We figured out that Nagito died from poison, but so what? In the end, it doesn't change the fact that he committed suicide, right? Then enough already!
Nagito inhaled the poison he prepared and died. Yeah, that still sounds like a suicide.
Well, with this, we have a clearer picture. We've also determined the true cause of death. All right, all the mysteries should be solved now. We should get on with the voting time, right?
Well, but
What? There's still more?
I mean, not all mysteries have been solved yet. In the end, Nagito's motive is still unclear. Did he commit suicide just so he could kill every last one of us? Was that really his motive? To kill every last one of them! Is that really? Okay.
Hey, what happened? There's no reason to wonder about that stuff anymore, you know.
Nagito's motive. Nagito's malice. Is this really okay? Can we really finish this here? No, it can't be.
There might have been an accomplice.
Chiaki, what did you just say?
If Nagito committed suicide by inhaling poison that he brought, then why wasn't there anything that looked like poison at the crime scene?
Anything that looked like poison?
If Nagito brought poison to the warehouse, it's strange that we couldn't find it there.
If Nagito really brought poison to the warehouse, then the thing that would have been left behind is... Chiaki's talking about something in the container.
I see!
Are you talking about the container the poison was kept in?
Yeah. If Nagito brought it, it's strange we couldn't find that container anywhere, right?
He can't carry around poison without putting it in a container?
Yeah, that was written on the warning label.
Keep this liquid secure by storing it in a cool place, in a glass or plastic container, away from sunlight.
The container probably melted in the fire.
It's probably plastic or glass, right? There's no way it'd completely incinerate.
I actually done that by accident before. I actually had like a plastic container for drinking water. I accidentally poured tea in there, and it basically like just melted it completely. Because I didn't have my mug at the time.
Even the plastic fragments of the fire grenades we used to put out the fire didn't completely burn up, you know?
Then, does that mean someone got rid of the container?
So that's why you mentioned an accomplice. That is impossible. I mean, an accomplice? It is just two.
Like, does that really matter all that much? I mean, even if he had an accomplice, it doesn't change the fact that Nagito still committed suicide.
You're right. Someone might have accidentally took it away from the crime scene.
Oh, you're right! You're totally right! That's totally it!
Right? Isn't it okay to close this case yet? I'm not in the mood for unexpected twists.
I know, but I gotta go through with this. I don't want to get hurt anymore by hurting someone else. Everyone's tired of doubting everyone else. I also feel that way. That's why I just want to rule this as Nagito's suicide. If I do that, nobody here has to get hurt.
That's no good.
Huh?
I feel like Nagito is seeing through us. By calling this Nagito's suicide, we're trying to take the easy way out so we don't hurt anyone else.
Because that's what suicide is. It's painless.
But if Nagito was here right now, he'd probably be sneering at us.
And it's the coward's way out, of course.
He'd probably say something like, "So that's the extent of your hopes."
So Nagito's ghost is whispering to you, huh?
I was not sure. That's for damn sure.
The power of friendship bursts beyond death, huh? A fiery outcome like this is right out of a teen manga! Still, that's pretty messed up.
Shut up! You just be quiet.
I get what you're saying, but in the end, the reason he died is still the same as before, right? Even if we solve this mystery, the conclusion won't change at all.
I mean, it'd be a suicide regardless, right?
Even if there really was an accomplice, is there any reason we should take the time to figure out who it is? Like Fuyuhiko said earlier, it is possible that somebody accidentally removed the poison from the crime scene.
But I just can't imagine ending this by turning our backs on the truth.
It's fine, okay? There are some things we're better off not knowing. And we probably just didn't notice it. Like maybe the container was hiding with the fire grenade fragments.
What is this feeling just now? Even though it was brief, it was like a strong flash of light running through the back of my head. Maybe what Akane said just now might be a new clue. What she said just now about us not noticing the container because it was hiding. It's true. I might be able to reach the answer using that. The way Nagito brought the poison, which means the thing he used as a container was... Don't need it yet. Damn it. Fire grenade!
I got it!
I see. I got it.
Huh?
The fire grenades. Nagito put the poison inside one of the fire grenade canisters and transported it to the warehouse.
He used one of the fire grenade canisters?
Yeah, the container with the poison in it wasn't secretly taken away by someone. Instead, it was in a container that didn't need to be taken away in the first place. As long as he put the poison in the same container he brought to the warehouse, it can be hidden with the other fire grenades we used, so there's no need to dispose of the container later.
Bastard. He totally knew we were gonna throw those fire grenades.
Which means, did Nagito exchange the contents of a fire grenade?
Yeah, that has to be it.
When I first discovered those fire grenades, I tried to study them a little bit, but the canister was completely sealed shut by a layer of aluminum underneath the lid.
You just have to peel off that seal and swap the insides, right?
That is true, but There was no sign he was even at the break room.
Hold on. Did you say aluminum?
Hajime. Could it be?
If so, then there's no mistake. Nagito definitely swapped the contents of one of the fire grenades.
Seriously? That's impossible. Miss Sonia just said so right now.
Sonia's words are proof that the poison was swapped with the contents of a fire grenade.
Huh?
Sonia's words are key. Something I found in Nagato's room is proof that the contents were swapped. This piece of blue paper.
I can prove it with this. Take a look. We found this under Nagito's bed when we were investigating his cottage.
Huh? That's just a piece of trash.
No, that is not just a piece of trash. The seal I saw on that fire grenade matched this. It is the same aluminum.
You found the aluminum seal under Nagito's bed?
There's more. That's not the only thing we found in Nagito's room. We also found a gas mask and gloves under his bed, too.
Did he use those when he put the poison inside the fire grenade?
Poisonous to the touch, smell, taste.
It's a dangerous poison after all. He took extreme caution when swapping them.
So what's the issue? Nagito put the poison in the grenade canister, brought it with him, breathed it in and died, right? So in the end, he still fucking committed suicide. Enough already!
I would say so too.
You're right. If the canister wasn't thrown away, then it just means that there wasn't an accomplice after all.
See, I told you. The conclusion is still the same. Nagito committed suicide. End of story.
Or is it?
I admit that there wasn't an accomplice. That was just my misunderstanding.
You're right.
In actuality, the truth is even more horrifying.
What did you say?
Hey, what are you planning to say now?
What the hell? Do you still want to keep going?
Is this not settled? There is no denying that Nagito's death was a suicide.
No, it's not.
Chiaki?
I'm sorry, but I just realized it.
Realized what?
We know Nagito used the grenade canister to store the poison. So when was it deployed in the warehouse? When did Nagito breathe in the poison? When I thought along those lines, that's when I realized it.
The horrifying truth?
It probably happened at the same time.
The moment the fire grenades were brought in and the moment Nagito breathed in the poison, that'd be the moment when we threw the grenades.
I see! Are you saying it was when we all threw the fire grenades?
You weren't aware that poison was in one of them.
Yeah, I think so. When we all threw the grenades to put out the fire in the warehouse, the poison was deployed, and it converted to poison gas and killed Nagito.
If that is true, then the person who brought the poison and spread it was...
One of us.
What the heck?
One of us threw the poison grenade that killed Nagito?
Hold on a sec. The Nagito was...
Accidentally killed.
He didn't kill himself.
Someone killed him with that grenade.
You said so yourself! You said Nagito committed suicide!
Original.
Then who killed Nagito?
You mean, who's the actual killer, right?
Do you know?
prepared the poison fire grenade that killed Nagito.
Hmm? The person who prepared the poison fire grenade was Nagito.
I see! It was Nagito, obviously. We just discussed this a few minutes ago.
Then who set the warehouse fire that caused one of us to throw the poison grenade?
The person who set the warehouse fire was Nagito.
I see! That was also Nagito.
Hey, how many times are you gonna ask the same damn question?
The next question will be my last. Considering all the facts up till now, why did Nagito set the warehouse on fire?
The reason Nagito set the warehouse on fire? To make someone throw the poison.
I see! Don't tell me, he set the warehouse on fire just so we'd have to throw the fire grenades?
He set the fire just so we can put it out? Why do you do that?
It was a trap.
Of course.
A trap?
Preparing the poison, creating a reason for us to throw the poison. It was all a setup by Nagito. It was all a trap to make one of us throw the poison grenade.
Seriously, I'm asking you who threw it.
I don't know. The person who threw it probably didn't know either.
Well, yes, yes, that is what is going on. Glad I have my notepad up. I thought it's a whole lot simpler.
Could it be? Was that Nagito's trap?
This wasn't an intentional murder. This was a murder that Nagito forced someone to do.
Premeditated.
And for that reason, he put the fire grenade that he filled with poison with the other grenades.
Premeditated murder.
Setting up a murder no one can solve. That was Nagito's true goal.
Nagito did not commit murder. Instead, he manipulated someone else into killing him?
Sure, why not?
To do that, he set a trap to force someone to kill him. The poison grenade and the fire were traps. That's why the curtain was the fire's origin point. All the fire grenades we threw at the curtain shattered once they fell to the floor. Because of that, Nagito, who was laying face up on the floor, was able to breathe in the dense poison.
can't say the poison was the cause of death. It might be the poison's fault we let go of the spear, but the actual cause of death could be either one.
Even so, the poison is what caused him to let go of the spear.
That's right! Nagito's killer is the one who made him breathe the poison!
Are you fucking serious?
I know, right?
Was his trap all along? Even the wounds all over his body, it was all to mess with the evidence for what actually happened. His true goal was creating a murder that nobody can solve. He wanted to prove to us there are mysteries that just can't be solved with educated guesses.
He probably expected that his fake suicide would be found out. After all, a mystery that can be solved is destined to be solved in the end.
True.
However, he also prepared a mystery that couldn't be solved. As you solve mysteries and bolster your hope, a huge mystery comes along and slaps you in your faces.
Like a big fat dong.
For those of you who believe there are no unsolvable mysteries, that is when you finally taste despair.
And it's white and it's pasty and it is very gummy.
Meaning, he used all of the prior class trial verdicts to prepare this trick. Not all mysteries can be solved. Such a devious trick he played on you, as expected of Nagito.
That's totally messed up. That's so fucked up.
It is my fault, because I told you all about the fire grenades. I am so sorry. Please vote me as the killer.
That's not the fucking issue here.
It's not Miss Soya's fault. This is all Nagito's doing.
True, it is.
But what should we do? How can we even figure out who the killer is?
It's impossible.
Impossible?
Nagito wanted to create a scenario where we could make a decision. That's why we're at an impasse.
However, Monokuma also does not know who the killer is, right?
That's right. There's no way to be able to figure that out with just his surveillance cameras. If Monokuma doesn't know, this trial doesn't count. Isn't that right?
You know, I don't actually mean stuff like cheap-ass surveillance cameras or whatever. I know perfectly well what's happening on this island at all times. I know you used the bathroom 3 times yesterday, Sonia, and one of those visits seemed to take a while.
Please stop! I will never become queen!
How can you be so sure? I mean, how can you have such an awful power?
What the hell, dude?
So, of course this trial still counts. Do your very best to guess who the killer is.
Yes, he says. How the hell are we supposed to do that?
Is giving up all we can do?
No, it's too early to give up.
Is there any way to figure out who the killer is?
Even though it's just a hunch, it's possible that it's probably... There's one way, I think. Really? Hey, is it alright if we look at Nagito's crime one more time from the beginning?
Okay. That's right. It doesn't mean the trial's over yet. Even though I don't know who killed Nagi, it should be clear what kind of trap he set. Then I have to do it. Even if it leads to the spot.
I got it. Let's do this then.
Closing argument! Start! Stock 1. Page 2 is this. Let's go to page 7. Already hurt himself. Poison shatter from page 11. Here. The plushie is ready. Page 8. Next batch. Page 6. I grab the spear with the... How do you support the spear? Like this. Nagito's video message. That's page 9. I'll tie the burn rope onto my right hand. That's page 5. Oops, I let go of the cord. That's page 12. Last stock. Going back to page 1. What's inside of Nagito's refrigerator? The poison. I'll just put this oil lighter here. That's page 4. No. No, it's this. There's a lot of fire grenades. That's 3. 4 is I'll put this oil lighter here. And that should be it.
Here's everything that happened in this case. The person who actually arranged this incident was the victim, Nagito Komaeda. He kept a specific item inside his cottage that he needed for his plan. Monokuma's special poison, which he brought with him from the Octagon. Using the gloves and gas mask that he got from the military base. Nagito swapped the contents of a fire grenade he took from the plushie factory break room with that poison. When he did that, a specific item was left as evidence, the blue aluminum seal on the grenade. With that, Nagito finished making the poison fire grenade, took it with him to the factory, and put it back with the rest of the grenades in the break room. The next morning, Nagito appeared before us and declared that he hid a bomb somewhere. While we were looking for the bomb, that's when Nagito headed over to the goods warehouse. In order to set up a fire, Nagito arranged the Monokuma panels in a line going from the door to the curtain and placed an oil lighter in front of it. From there, Nagito set his insane plan in motion. First, he hung the spear that he took from Nezumi Castle from the ceiling girder by its cord. Then he tied his arms and legs at the back of the warehouse with rope. However, he burnt off the rope on his right arm beforehand. In doing so, he made sure that only his right hand was free, while his remaining arm and legs were tied up. As he gripped the tip of the rope hanging over the ceiling girder with his left hand, he lay down face up, just beneath the dangling spear. But this was just the beginning of Nagito's plan. And then, he did something no one could have predicted. First, he covered his mouth with duct tape, and after making sure he was unable to scream, he stabbed himself with the knife multiple times in his left arm and in both of his thighs.
Self-inflicting himself. So those wounds, self-inflicted.
Finally, he propped the knife on the plushie and slammed his right hand onto the blade. He didn't just want us to think he was tied up. He also wanted us to think he'd been tortured. Through all this, Nagito never let go of the spear. His plan still wasn't over. In fact, it was just about to begin.
Act 3.
Meanwhile, we finally arrived at the plushie factory and found Nagito's message. After seeing his message, we instantly made our way to the warehouse. But that was part of Nagito's plan. We opened the door to the warehouse, which inadvertently started the Monokuma panel domino effect.
By the way, that pose, totally henshin!
The panels fell one after another until they reached the lighter, tipped it over, and ignited the curtain.
He made a mousetrap. If you really think about it, that's what he did. He made a mousetrap.
Shocked by the sudden fire, we rushed to the factory's break room to obtain some fire-extinguishing grenades. We then aimed for the fire's origin point, which was the curtain, and unloaded the entire supply. It never occurred to us that one of those grenades was the poison grenade that Nagito had prepared. The poison sank to the floor, instantly vaporizing due to the intense heat, and spread everywhere. The poison gas quickly drifted to the curtain at the back of the warehouse, where Nagito was. Also, Monokuma's poison has a unique quality in which it becomes heavier than air when vaporized. That poison gas completely surrounded the area where Nagito lay face up on the floor. There, Nagito inhaled the poison, and if it didn't instantly kill him, he certainly lost consciousness. which
And
caused
that's
him to
how-
let go of the rope in his left hand, and the falling spear plunged into his stomach.
That's how it happened. It didn't kill him instantaneously, but it was in effect.
This is all the information related to Nagito's plan. His true intention was to set one of us up as the killer. At this time, we still don't know who the killer is, because the killer wasn't aware they killed someone. Try as we might, we cannot reach that truth. That was Nagito's trap. In conclusion, the fact that we can't determine the killer's identity. This should be the truth behind Nagito's trap.
How about it, Chiaki? Will that help you figure out who the killer is? Chiaki?
Well,
Just as I thought. It's impossible, isn't it?
You say we just have to vote for someone?
yeah.
What Hajime said is probably true. That's part of the reason why I thought it was a little strange. Did Nagito really not care who the killer was?
Huh.
He said this to us earlier.
It's going to be fine. I'm pretty sure everything will work out in the end. After all, there's no way hope can lose. Absolute hope that can break through any despair can never lose in a place like this. And not only that, I believe in you all. I believe in the time we spent together.
That feeling of belief is at the heart of his trick. He believed we'd notice the fire grenades. He believed we'd try to extinguish the flames. And he believed we'd fall into his trap. By believing in us, Nagito was able to put his life-threatening plan into effect.
What do you mean, believe?
And what's wrong with that?
There's one more thing, remember? Something that Nagito believed in from the bottom of his heart. I want you to try to remember what that is.
What Nagito believed in his talent.
I see! Nagito believed in his talent as the ultimate lucky student.
After all the time we spent together, I believe in you guys. And more than anything, I believe in my ultimate luck. So it's definitely gonna be alright.
I guess the last thing he could believe in was his own talent.
That's not so strange, really. Most of us here have been relying on the same thing.
But, in his case, it was pretty remarkable, wasn't it? It almost seemed like he had blind faith in it.
You're right. The same thing happened when he cleared the final dead room at the funhouse.
It wasn't life-threatening at all. It was just a little escape game that ended with some Russian roulette. Russian roulette? It's a game where you load one bullet in a gun, spin the cylinder, point it to you, and pull the trigger. So you really did it. Ah, so that's how you're supposed to play it. So it would have been fine if I had only used one bullet, huh? I guess it was just as Monami said. Huh? I misunderstood and thought that I had to take one bullet out of the cylinder. That's how I did it. You only had a 1 in 6 chance of surviving! alive. After all, the only good thing about me is how lucky I am. He played gamble! He did the same thing when the first killing happened. The building damage. Depended on his luck and was able to get cleaning duty just as he wanted. That's right. I just trusted my luck. I trust every pick for cleaning duty. You just relied on your luck? It's not just luck. It's true, my talent is trash, but I'm still the ultimate lucky student, you know? Huh? I'm left with the red mark? Huh? For someone called the ultimate lucky student, you don't For someone called the ultimate lucky student, you don't seem to be very lucky right now. At the time, Hajime said I wasn't lucky, but it was actually the opposite. I was lucky. That's why I got picked for cleaning duty, just like I wanted.
But his luck doesn't have anything to do with the case this time, right?
I just thought it was strange that it doesn't connect to anything.
Hmm?
He factored in his belief in us, but for some reason he didn't factor in his own luck. No, there's no way. I mean, this is Nagito we're talking about.
What did he do?
No, he wasn't just after anybody. He probably had a target. A target he was aiming for all along. A person to set up as the killer.
A target? Who?
The target's true identity. Even Nagito didn't know it. That's why he relied on being the ultimate lucky student and incorporated that luck into his plan.
You can only survive off of RNG for so long.
As long as he had his luck, he believed the target he was after would pick up the fire grenade.
You mean he left his plan to luck?
Of course he did.
He risked his life for that?
Apparently, yes, he did. He's a dumbass like that.
He probably risked his life just so his ultimate luck could decide this.
Who is it? Who's the target Nagito was after?
I don't even have to ask. I should already know what the answer is. Traitor.
I see! That's it. The traitor. Nagito was after the traitor, huh?
Then he relied on his luck to weed out the traitor?
Yep.
Nagito didn't know who the traitor was until the very end. All he could do was rely on his own luck.
Then what he said in his video message.
It won't work with just any student handbook. If you want to disarm that bomb, you have to use the traitor student handbook. To be honest, I found out who the traitor was after secretly monitoring everyone's activity. But I was a little annoyed that they never came forward.
So he was just bluffing. That's probably true. By that point, his plan should have already been in motion.
Then it's just as Nagito said at the beginning. His purpose was to weed out the traitor. If we just believed in what Nagito said, we would have reached the answer much quicker. The reason this took so damn long was it really because we didn't believe in it?
But if he just wanted to out the traitor, he didn't have to go this far and make that person the killer. Damn it! We're all in a huge bind because of that!
It means he wants us to beat the traitor.
By finding out who the traitor is, our hopes will shine even brighter by overcoming that despair. That's something he'd say.
Oh, well, I think we all know who that person is.
Monami, it looks like you've got something you want to say. But you better just keep your mouth shut.
And that concludes my argument. Nagito's plan was to make the traitor kill him. What are you gonna do? Are you guys gonna believe me?
He relied on his luck to aim for a target, but he didn't even know who he was aiming for. He was blind. Luck is always blind, y'all. Sounds way too unbelievable to actually have happen, but...
The only thing we can do is believe.
If we don't, then we'd just be relying on our luck when we cast our votes.
But even if we do believe, what should we do? I mean, if we don't know who the target is, there's no way we can even vote.
You are absolutely right. It is hard to think the traitor would reveal themselves now.
If, by chance, the traitor revealed themselves during that bomb scare, what would have happened? Would it have stopped Nagito from acting so reckless?
Nah, he still would have acted reckless regardless.
Huh?
But they couldn't help it. Even if they wanted to reveal themselves, they couldn't do it. Because they weren't created to do that.
Chiaki?
What's wrong, Chiaki? Get a hold of yourself!
That's why I want you guys to guess.
You want us to guess?
Yeah, I want you to guess.
What? What does that mean?
Luck.
Who do you think it is, Hajime? Who do you think the Future Foundation sent to infiltrate your group as the traitor?
Why?
A traitor who's not allowed to think that they're different from everyone else.
Why?
A traitor who can only interact with everyone as a traitor.
Why?
Because that's the nature of their existence. They can only exist as a traitor.
Seriously, why?
Who do you think is the traitor? Hajime, please.
Well... Alright.
It's... you?
The one you wouldn't expect.
Chiaki, you're the traitor?
Please! Hold on!
Aw, you totally guessed right.
The one you wouldn't expect.
Just as expected. Yup, you're correct. I'm the traitor. The agent sent by the Future Foundation to hide among you all is me.
Damn it! Why? This nonsense. Why? Why does this make sense?
Hey, Chiaki, are you being serious right now?
Chiaki is the traitor? That is a lie, right? Surely you must be joking.
I'm sorry. It's the truth.
Hey, what are you saying sorry for?
What does this mean? You... Up till now... You've been tricking us?
We were not tricked! After all, we have been working together all this time. We have been helping each other all this time.
I've been using a walkthrough all this time.
Chiaki, being a traitor, being a member of that horrifying Future Foundation, that is obviously a lie.
Please, wait! The Future Foundation isn't what you think it is!
It's something worse, isn't it?
Shut the fuck up! We're talking to Chiaki!
No, I have nothing more to say.
Why?
Because we already know the killer's true identity.
If you remember correctly, when Nagito basically called out who the traitor is, who was the one who stepped up?
So the only thing left to do is vote.
Hold on! We're not satisfied yet!
If you say you are the traitor, please provide an explanation that will help us understand. We cannot vote until we are satisfied. That is what you said earlier, Chiaki.
Hey, if you're really the traitor, why'd you wait till now to reveal yourself?
Because why not?
It's weird, isn't it? Waiting until right now to out yourself.
It's definitely strange, right? Or rather, why was I able to do that? Maybe I wanted to protect everyone, no matter the cost.
She did say that. Huh?
Hey Hajime, can you do me a small favor?
Favor? Me?
I want you to prove to them that I'm the traitor.
What? What are you saying? Why do I have to do that?
I want to explain everything to you guys, but as I expected, that's rather difficult. That's why the only thing I can do is plead with you. I want you to do it. I believe you can prove it.
Whether I can prove it or not, that's not the problem. Don't you understand? You may as well be asking me to kill you. There's no way I can do that.
I'm very sorry, but this is the only way. So please.
Looks like we gotta do what we can. It's not like I believe she's the traitor. There's just no way we can ignore this without confirming it.
If she was just disguised or something, this would have been a heck of a lot easier for us to understand, but...
She's not disguised at all! 'Cause Chiaki isn't the traitor.
Monami?
Too bad. I'm not part of the same group as that girl. I don't know anything about that girl at all.
That girl?
Hey, are you trying to cover for her like that? You suck!
I've always been alone. I have no friends anywhere. That's why I have no relation to Chiaki whatsoever.
Hajime, you're going to listen to my request, right?
Damn it!
Chiaki isn't my friend. I hate Chiaki so much.
Monami and Chiaki's relationship. Proving it here. Panic talk action!
Hajime, you stupid face! Let's all get along. Hajime, you stupid face! I won't let you. I'll lower your grades. Burst open and mix! I won't let you. I can't lose. Hajime, you stupid face! open and mix! Don't defy your teacher! I'll lower your grades! First open and mix! Hajime, you stupid face! Let's all get along! Let's all get along! Chiaki and I aren't best friends!
Mon Ami's notebook!
When we investigated Nagito's cottage, I discovered a notebook with a new Sami logo on it. That's your notebook, right? The one Nagito stole from you.
I don't know. I don't know.
Don't tell me. Is that where the traitor's true identity is written? That's right! Since I knew something like this would happen, I made sure to bring it here today.
Oh, so sudden?
Give me that notebook.
Day one, I was able to talk to everyone for the first time today. Monokuma showed up and things turned bad. Day two, Byakuya's later. A lot of things happened today, so everyone's tired.
What is this? Is this Marnie's diary?
Is the traitor's identity written in here?
Nagito was probably looking for that too, so that might be why he stole the notebook. But you wouldn't know who the traitor is just by reading this notebook. Of course, Nagito wouldn't know either. However, it's different for me.
You know?
It took me this long, but I finally understand.
Well, the truth is, I might have already known the moment I found this number. It's just, I want to turn my eyes from the truth of it. But now, I clearly know. I can't help but know.
First of all, this isn't Monomi's diary. Apparently she can't write.
And the one who wrote this is...
Someone connected to Monomi. Meaning, it's not a mistake to think that the traitor wrote it.
If so, is this like a report that the traitor was sending to Monomi?
Is it evidence that they were observing our actions and reporting to Monomi?
But how would you know who the traitor is from that?
Because there's an entry written in here that only me and one other person would know.
The topic we discussed in the entry earlier, it happened when we were locked inside there. The final dead room.
In the notebook, there was a specific entry.
Day 16. We've been in the funhouse for 3 days. Everyone's hungry and on edge. Hajime tried to go in the final dead room today. He's probably panicking because no one believes him.
There it is. It's true. I tried to go inside the final dead room. But the only one who knew that.
I win the life-threatening game here. I'll be able to go to that octagon place, right? It's fine, as it should be. I finally did it. I finally figured out where the exit is. I can get out. With this, I can finally get out. You can't do that. You shouldn't go in there. You won't find what you're looking for.
That's right. The only person who knew that is Chiaki. That's why Chiaki is the only person who could have possibly written about this.
There must be some mistake. I mean, if Chiaki is the traitor, what was all that time we spent with her?
A waste.
Was that all a lie too?
Just like the cake.
Miss Sonia.
Chiaki is... She is being controlled by Monokuma. That is why we should help her. I'm not satisfied either. I mean, if you were the traitor, there's no way you'd do something so stupid when we found the bomb.
It's really stupid to be fighting over something like this. And so, with an annoyed expression on her face, Chiaki walked over to the bombs without saying a word. Took her handbook out of her pocket. Without hesitation, swiped the card reader. Looks like it was wrong.
Now that you mention it, Chiaki immediately went to the card reader with her handbook.
She tested it out right away after being told it would only react to the traitor's handbook.
That doesn't make any sense. A traitor would be more cautious than that.
Chiaki probably knew the bomb was a fake. That's why she also knew Nagito's trap was a bluff.
She knew? That is a mistake! That must be a mistake! Why are you saying such things? Do you really want Chiaki to be the traitor?
Of course not.
I will not believe it! I refuse to believe Chiaki is a traitor! There is just no way!
I don't want to believe it either. I don't want to believe it.
Then nobody will be saved.
I know, right? Ready!
Chiaki is not the traitor!
When we were trying to turn off the bomb, didn't Chiaki use the card reader right away?
If she's a traitor, she would have been more cautious.
There's no way Chiaki would have known if that bomb was fake or not. The only person who knew it wasn't fake was me, when I tried to detonate it.
That's not it. That's not it. Sonya should have been the only one who knew it was a fake.
Actually, I've been doing pretty damn good on the PTA. It's pretty damn easy, too. It's like, it's pretty goddamn flimsy, but it's still funny as hell.
Monomi was also there when you found out the bomb at the military base wasn't real. You said so yourself.
Is that true, Miss Sonia?
Chiaki heard about it from Monomi. That's why she knew the bomb was a fake.
I know, right, Jade?
Since I've been found out, I'll just confess.
This hurts anybody who has ever loved Chiaki.
The reason I couldn't tell anyone I knew the bomb was a fake was because if I had said that...
Because she is so pure. She is like the most purest out of the entirety of the group.
I would have had to explain how I heard about it from Monomi.
I did not want to hear that!
Why do you want to argue?
Enough already. Please do not say another word.
Why now?
I do not want this anymore. I am so very tired of doubting people.
Of course.
Sonya.
And just because she knew the bomb was a fake does not mean we should decide she is the traitor!
Girl?
Even if she knew the bomb was fake, that does not prove Chiaki is the traitor. If that counts as evidence, I should be doubted too. After all, I also knew the bomb was fake.
Excedo!
Knowing it was a fake isn't the problem. What matters is who told her. What matters is that she heard about it from Monami.
There was someone other than me and Monami who knew that bomb was fake. That someone is Monokuma. Monokuma said so earlier. He knows everything Monokuma probably told Chiaki. That it was fake beforehand.
Ha!
You're right. Monokuma probably knew the bomb was a fake. But Monokuma shouldn't have told anyone either.
Then where did Nagito obtain the bomb he used?
I wonder. If I've got to give you guys a hint, then you should know it wasn't from a military base. To tell you the truth, the bombs, they're all fakes.
I know that already. You should have said so earlier.
Well, I thought if I kept quiet, it would foreshadow that a killing was gonna happen. That's why I'm just telling you now for the first time. I feel relieved.
That Monokuma may have just been lying.
No, he won't lie at times like this. You already know that.
Hajime, are you going to believe Monokuma over Chiaki?
That's not it.
It's just, even if Chiaki is the traitor, is it really okay to vote for her? That basically just means we have to believe in Nagito's luck.
This whole case has been under Nagito's luck. Thank you, Shi.
I try my best, you know.
Also,
That's not it.
Are you telling us to trust his luck? Are you telling us to entrust our lives to that bastard?
There's no way I can believe in Nagito.
because Nagito wouldn't believe in Nagito.
I'm telling you, that's not it. We shouldn't believe in Monokuma or Nagito.
They're both assholes.
We have to believe in Chiaki.
She's pure as the driven snow.
Huh?
Doesn't matter who the traitor is. Even if Chiaki is the traitor, that's not the Chiaki I know.
The Chiaki I know would sleep with me.
I believe in the Chiaki who's been with us this whole time.
I believe the one who's been sleeping this entire time on her feet is the Chiaki I know and love.
That Chiaki is saying she wants to protect us with her life. So the only thing we can do is believe her. If we don't, nobody's going to be saved.
Oh, yeah. Gospel truth right there.
Damn it.
All the hell.
Hey, can you listen to me a little? There's nothing to be sad about, you know? 'Cause this is different from what happened before. Unlike before, you guys don't have to stay alive by doubting someone. You guys can stay alive by believing in me.
Are you telling us to believe in you and sacrifice you? That is just too cruel.
I'm sorry.
Chiaki!
Monami, I'm sorry too.
You're trying to cover for me, you jackass.
You're probably gonna get scolded by a lot of different people for this,
That's nothing new.
but still, I want to protect everyone by any means. And I'm happy that I'm able to do that.
It's not up to me to decide whether that's right or wrong. However, I believe it's truly amazing that you were able to think like that.
Can I slap you around with a wet noodle? Or at least throw a box of ramen at your face?
We could even call this a miracle.
Happy Lunar New Year, everyone!
Hey, what have you two been talking about? everyone's jaws are dropping, you know?
I know. It's voting time, right?
Hey, Chiaki.
You don't have to worry. Believe in me and cast your vote.
Damn it! Why did it end up like this?
Even my nerves on it. Oh, good lord. I'll take it. That's not bad, considering that most of it being hundreds, but but everything else were like the 60s. The 60s really did it for me. That one. It's not fair. I feel the same as everyone else. There's no way I can agree to this. Emptiness. Loneliness, sadness. But most of all, I'm ashamed of my own weakness. So am I, Hajime. So am I. I'm always ashamed of my weakness every damn day. But even so, I have to move forward. If we believe in the person who's urging us forward, then we have to start walking. As Edward Elric says, you got 2 good feet, you better start walking. I believe with as much hope as possible in what lies ahead. Really?
Even so.
Oh, check that from the class trial end.
Man, I'm pooped. Let's go ahead and announce the result. The traitor from the Future Foundation and Nagito Kameda's killer is... Chiaki Nanami!
Damn it!
Are you serious? That was correct?
The fact that Chiaki was a traitor? The fact that Nagito's crime depended entirely on his luck?
Everything was true.
Damn it.
Plus, that means that bastard managed to pull it off.
Congratulations, everyone.
Damn it.
Stupid. We're not celebrating at all.
Damn it!
Chiaki, let me ask you one more time. Are you really part of the Future Foundation? An agent of the organization that brought us to this island? Is that really your true identity?
I'm sorry I didn't tell you guys.
What?
That is...
I cannot believe it, even though I do not want to believe it. There is no choice but to believe, right?
I'm sorry.
It would have been better if I could have said it sooner. But I couldn't say it no matter what.
'Cause
I can't betray the Future Foundation.
Can't betray.
well,
Even if you want to fly, you can't, right? Even if you want to swim where you please, you can't, right? It's the same for me. Due to the nature of my existence, I'll never be able to betray the Future Foundation. What the hell?
But in the end, you did something similar. What you did is no different than sharing your secret yourself.
You're right.
why?
Now's not the time to be laughing.
Well,
But strangely enough, I don't have any regrets. In fact, I'm somewhat happy. I was able to think I wanted to protect everyone. That's why I feel proud of my actions.
You're still saying things I don't get, but we ask you anything, you're just not gonna answer, right? Like, if we asked why you were in the Future Foundation and stuff,
I'm sorry. That is...
Even if you were a traitor, you never betrayed us. Chucky, you will always be our friend, even now. We don't blame you for this. That is why you don't need to apologize.
Yeah.
so the traitor was revealed and Chucky lost. In the end, it all went according to Nagito's plan,
Like,
About that, was that really Nagito's goal? Is it really okay to say he was trying to find the killer and eliminate them? So, is that strange? Strange.
so,
I mean, we nearly lost, right? And if Jockey hadn't said anything, we definitely would have lost.
You raised a good point. That's exactly it. Even though Nagito said he would weed out the traitor, he never said he would kill the traitor.
Yes, indeed.
Congratulations! You successfully stopped Nagito's plan! I mean, Nagito's plan was to reveal the traitor. And kill everyone else besides the traitor!
Kill everyone else besides the traitor?
Are you serious?
That was Nagito's goal?
Huh?
Why would he do something like that?
Because he's Nagito.
Of all the... To form a plan that only the traitor would survive? Is that bastard really that twisted?
Have you seen Battle Royale? See Royal Rumble. That's twisted.
Nope. It's okay.
Okay, what?
Well,
I mean, it's not just Nagito's fault. If the circumstances had been different, he probably would have taken things so far.
I already know about Battle Royale. I've seen it. Battle Royale is a fucked up movie. I'm telling you. You never seen Battle Royale. It's best if you try to read the comic, or rather the manga first, and try to make sense of that. And then, if you can, go watch the movie. Or take it a step further. I think there's an anime based on it too. Yeah. Battle Royale is...
Chucky!
You really are a kind-hearted person. You think so? I wonder where you got
your personality from...
Perhaps.
Like our dad and our big brother, don't you think?
Hey, come on now.
Don't go talking about your family all of a sudden! That's totally ripping off Tutu Tutu!
Yep. I noticed this when I was watching Your Turn to Die in your stream some time back, Jay. Yep. I kind of saw that. This is Battle Royale. Your Turn to Die is also Battle Royale. Zero Escape is also Battle Royale. The Hunger Games, Battle Royale. It's all there.
I can't lose.
And I cannot lose to Jackie. Just like Jackie and everyone else, even if I know it's a fight I cannot win.
Hi-ya!
I must try to retaliate.
Huh?
Retaliate?
I will no longer let you do as you please.
This seems so wrong.
Stupid! Stop! What are you doing?
As they say, we shall die together.
So she's gonna pull off the Cyberman type of destruction here. Cyberman called it. She's self-destructed. Dragon Ball Z, don't you love it? Early concept, trying to giving Yamcha the most jacked up ending of all time. Yeah. Yeah, it's Yamcha. He wasn't crumpled up.
What'd you say?
What's going on?
Huh?
Wanna come and like die?
No.
I'm not dead!
Whoa, a new fucking one came out!
Man, that surprised me. If I didn't have a spare, I would have died.
I can't lose.
Not yet. I'm not done yet.
Oh shit, she grew a penis?
That's...
Hey, wait.
If I don't beat you, nobody can live in peace.
She grew a penis. Oh dear sweet lord, no.
Stop it, I say! I'm sorry, I lose! Forgive me!
Oh god, she is pulling a Wu-Fang. She's pulling a Wu-Fang. We die together.
Hey,
Not yet. Seriously, stop it. If you don't stop right now, it's all going to be destroyed.
I won't forgive you.
Of course I'm doing it so you all be destroyed. I will be the one to protect my students.
Didn't I just go over this with double? God damn it. Why am I going through Endless Waltz again?
I won't let you.
I will protect them with my life.
Mona me, you...
Hey.
Now then, how many of you are still there? You might as well come out all at once.
Oh dear sweet lord.
Ooh, how exciting!
How many? Not that much. Just around, over 60. Well, what'd you say?
What?
One.
One, 10,
100, 1,000, 10,000, 1 million, 1 billion, 1 trillion, 1 quadrillion. Jump ahead 10 over 52, 10 over 56, 10 over 60. That's 10 to the 60th power.
Hey!
After all this, you're still joking around. You sure have quite the daring spirit.
Oh, dear Lord.
Too bad.
Except I'm not joking. What are you saying anymore? Did you see that stain? While you're doing this, my clones are continuously and endlessly creating. In the Monokuma manufacturing facility.
I almost said factory.
That's wrong!
What? Do those work just stuffed animals?
That's right. I checked them all with my own hands. They're just plushies.
Damn it!
You're just bluffing! Monami, fish him off!
Hey,
Even if it's just a plushie, as long as you give it Monokuma's personality, it becomes a fully developed Monokuma.
He's Dr. Zen. What'd you say? There's no way that's possible. That's not even magic.
Magic, huh?
Could it be?
Have you already obtained that much power?
Vega?
Hey!
Hold on, if you bring up magic so suddenly, we're gonna be so confused. Unless you mean magic in a technological sense, we won't understand this at all.
Hey!
What's going on? Now, don't tell me they're not gonna call this magic or something.
No, get a raise.
Well, I don't care how you interpret it.
in the end, even if Monami risks her life or does whatever, it doesn't matter to my army of 10 to the power of 60 strong!
10 to the power of 60. That's what that is.
There's no value in that life you're risking. So how about this? This overwhelming despair! Does it make you dizzy from excitement? What's this?
And how many Monamis are left to challenge my army of 10 over 60?
You don't call it like that.
You don't have to say anything. I know. Let's see. You just have 10 more left, right? I know everything. I am the conqueror of the new world.
I can't lose!
I won't give up. Even if I have no chance of winning it.
It's okay, Monami. Well,
It's not about giving up, you know.
let's believe in them.
Let's believe in everyone and leave the rest to them.
But
Right?
Damn it.
What the hell's going on?
Um,
I do not know for certain, but the only thing I can say is
Please listen.
Monokuma is an enemy of the Future Foundation.
Like,
does that mean there's another organization that's our enemy besides the Future Foundation?
This is bad.
We're in this situation because we're caught up in a dispute between these two organizations. Okay, that's it. Let's just leave that talk for later. Because the punishment time's gotta start.
Just a little more. Just a little more time.
Shing!
To wait or not to wait? That is the question. But which will cause more despair? That's the real question. If you think about it, you know, right? There's no way I'd wait.
But I haven't.
I'm sorry.
Hajime. Regardless, there's nothing else I can say. I'm not allowed to say anything more than I already have. Not that I...
Now then, I prepared a very special punishment.
For Chiaki Nanami, the ultimate gamer.
Special bleeding service.
Oh, for Monami too.
Huh?
Why even Monami?
It's just a 2-for-1 special. I could have killed that thing anytime I wanted, since she's not a student. And also, I don't need anybody that will define me anymore. Also, I remember now.
Sorry.
I'm an only child.
That is...
What is that?
It's okay. It would fun here. I'd just be a burden anyway. And not just that.
I decided to believe in everyone.
You guys, I'm sorry about so many things. I'm sorry for lying to you. I'm sorry I couldn't protect you to the very end.
Just one last time, let me say something that makes me sound like a teacher.
You are not Mr. Izzy. Sit down.
There's no need to be a hero. You don't have to force yourself just to make people acknowledge you.
But yet I strangely do, because for some reason it's the only way I can be taken seriously.
When you do that, you end up blaming yourself, blaming other people, and feeling jealous of everyone.
I live in a society in which everybody except me is getting theirs. Try telling that to somebody who has a living handicap on their person.
But still, it doesn't have to be like that.
In this cruel society.
Even if people don't acknowledge you, you just have to be someone that you can be proud of.
I wouldn't mind hearing a kind word every now and then. That's all I ask. Even if I don't ask for it, I just want to hear some kind word.
'Cause you yourself are your biggest supporter. If you can learn to love yourself, That love will continue to support you for the rest of your life. Love.
Shut up!
Bye, everyone. It's okay. A shining future will always be waiting for you. It's true. It's absolutely true. 'Cause I know.
Oh, this is cutting me deep.
Bye-bye. Please don't forget about your teacher.
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
Chiaki has been found guilty. Time for the punishment.
You too, mon ami!
What the living fuck? Please insert coin, the ultimate gamer. Oh, really? You fucking kidding me? You're blowing away all your credits on this. Pac-Man? Oh, Jesus. No! Oh, God. Are you fucking serious? Tetris? Oh. Oh, this is messed up. I remember it, but damn. No screen clear for you. And that scream you just heard just now was me just holding it in because I was that upset. Even until the very end, I couldn't look away from Chiaki's final moments. Without realizing it, I had fallen to my knees. A feeling of powerlessness spread throughout my body. It's over. It just had to end. Before I could ask what I need to... Before I could ask what I needed to ask. Before I could say what I needed to say. Words that we couldn't say. Chucky vanished before my eyes. I noticed there was no blood. And I couldn't even tell her, thank you. If I had said that, would she have been comforted as she was executed as the traitor? would you have been comfortable? I don't know. My chest just hurt.
I don't believe it!
Good gracious, that was such a big surprise! As for Chiaki, she regularly took on the role of point man during the class trials, as did Nagito too.
What?
And not only was she the traitor, she was Nagito's killer too!
Phew.
Oh well, don't worry about it. There won't be any more situations where you'll need to rely on them.
Huh?
Wait, does that mean...
Now that the annoying rabbit's gone as well, all the obstacles that have been keeping us stuck on this island are completely gone.
Are you serious? We can really leave this island?
I shall now present.
Yep! Congratulations! With this, I shall announce the end of the killing school trip. For you 5 who've survived up until now, I shall give you the right to graduate. Thank you for all of your hard work.
Are you really okay with that?
What do you mean?
There are still 2 days left. If you are acting like your usual self, you will be setting things up. So another killing happens right away. You're right. Stop it! What are you saying? What if Mr. Monokuma changes his mind? Also, you said you 5, like you were emphasizing that part. Does that mean the number of people matter more than the remaining time? That's why you're saying it's the end already, even though there are still 2 days left, right?
Huh?
It matters, but there are 5 people left.
Are you planning to make a volleyball team?
Are you offering your volleyballs, Akane? Silly fool! You need 6 people for volleyball!
Rika.
Don't stay quiet, say something! What's your actual purpose? You're our enemy and the enemy of the Future Foundation, so what's your true identity?
Hey,
If the Future Foundation is the world ender, then I will end the new world that the Future Foundation has created.
no.
Oh, you just have to look forward to the rest after the countdown ends. That timer has almost reached 0. If it reaches 0, everything will end. The Future Foundation's lame plan will be nothing but toilet bubbles.
Hey,
And when that time comes, you'll know everything. You'll see all of your questions answered in one go. And then you guys will find out for yourselves just how messed up this new world is.
See social media.
Hey.
New world. Don't go saying new shit all of a sudden.
yep.
Well, just think of the remaining 2 days until the countdown reaches 0 as a bonus. While you're at it, you should enjoy your life on this tropical island to the fullest. Because once you leave this island, Your hopeless life back home will be waiting for you.
I'm not laughing again. We'll take your word for it. Monokuma's boisterous laughter carried on for what felt like forever. Our questions, our worries, our sadness were simply ignored. The laughter just kept going forever.
Oh, because he wants to be the Joker.
As for what we did afterwards, honestly, doesn't matter at all. I returned to my cottage for the time being and fell asleep. Even after I woke up, my will to move my body didn't come back. Yeah, just like my ass. That's why I didn't look back on everything that happened up until now. I didn't even think about what was going to happen. I just kept praying that nothing else would happen. And burrowed deep into my sheets as if I were trying to hide. If I was buried deep in my sheets, I would be trying to stay warm. In doing so, I was somehow trying to endure the long day. And then the sun finally set. The day feels abnormally long when you spend it praying that nothing happens. Which reminds me, I haven't heard Monokuma's announcement. I guess that isn't needed anymore. Is everything really going to end? What is everything anyway? How far? How much is everything? If we leave this island, is everything going to end? There's still so much we don't know. About our school memories, future foundation, Hope's Peak Academy, Monokuma's true purpose. Can we really end this and turn our back on all that? And not just that, if we're really leaving, then where are we going? To Hope's Peak Academy? That was my last night at Jabberwock Island. Yeah, she does. At a place where my worries didn't even matter. Everything was about to end. She is a martyr after all. Alert! 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 I feel like I had a fun dream. Somehow. I think it was about my childhood. Because of that, I was able to face the day with a somewhat happier feeling than usual. That's right. It's the last day. According to Monokuma. Suddenly my body shuddered. Right when I opened my eyes, I was gripped by a fear that I had never felt before. A fear like I had been abandoned in this world. Completely, utterly alone. Nobody left on this island. Kazuichi, Fuyiko, Akane, Sonia. Like everyone was gone, and I couldn't find them anywhere. I suddenly couldn't believe in anything, like everything in this world was nothing but lies. rushed outside the cottage, desperate to escape that fear. I rushed out to the cottage. I rushed out of the cottage, desperate to escape that fear. I rushed out of the cottage, desperate to escape that fear. Oh dear. Oh dear. When I left the cottage, I randomly ran into her.
Hello there.
Hajime, good timing. Good timing? What do you mean?
See?
Remember Nagita's video message that we found at the factory? Yeah, when we were dealing with the bomb rockets? What about it?
Well?
Apparently there was more to that message inside that laptop.
Yep.
We weren't able to see it until a day or so passed. Apparently it was locked by a timer. Did he set it up so we wouldn't be able to watch it until after the class trial? Why would he do that?
Perhaps.
Maybe Nagito planned to leave this as a wheel. Still modding, I see. Where is it right now? She's a tanker. What can I say? We were just planning to meet at the restaurant and watch it together. Guy, the restaurant. We're going to take this to the head. We're going to take this all the way to the head. Hello, Pygmy.
Yo,
Hey, you're late! Is it true? Nagito really left another message. Kneel before Miss Sonia and thank her! She was the one who found it. I was going for a walk with Gundam's hamster and I found it and I stopped by the factory. And yet that smell is still lingering.
Listen well.
Coincidence, you say? Wrong! That is the wheel of causality guiding you.
Why would Miss Sonia be going for a walk with Gundam? I never allow that.
Damn right.
So anyway, let's hurry up and play it. Yeah, you're right.
I wonder who's watching this message.
Is it the traitor from the Future Foundation? I know, right? That's what it feels like. Like, what the fuck is going on here? If so, congratulations. Looks like it ended the way I hoped it would. Ended the way he hoped it would.
Damn it.
Nagito was trying to kill everyone except the traitor. Damn it, it just isn't what Akuma said.
Hey!
So he really set up the traitor as a killer and he even tried to make them survive the trial? But why did he do that? Please don't send that to me.
Enough of your useless talk. It appears there's still more.
But if everyone but the traitor is still watching this video. Comment, rate, and subscribe today on my YouTube channel.
How unfortunate.
I guess I lost. That outcome is the complete opposite of the hope I believe in. Well, not that it matters for me anymore. I mean, no matter what the outcome is, it doesn't matter for a dropout like me.
Now then.
Let's put this meaningless introduction aside and get down to business. Since I don't know who I'm talking to, I'm going to speak so that both sides will understand. First of all, you might be wondering why I did what I did. Well, I just took action after talking about it for so long. The special prize in the final dead room allowed me to learn a certain truth. It would be troublesome if everyone found out, so I already disposed of that page. But anyway, I was totally surprised. I mean...
The fuck you say?
The Future Foundation's traitor must have known that truth all along. And so I was able to learn the truth about this world and resolved to take action immediately. I shouldn't have made fun of Hajime. Deep down, I always wanted to become a protagonist myself.
You just don't have the privilege, sir. Game? Are you okay?
But now that I know that truth, as I look back on Monokuma's actions, I'm starting to see what he's planning. By giving us information about the island's mystery and the Future Foundation, he's raising all of your hopes. But only so that can lead you to unimaginable despair. Plus, Monokuma's trying to show that despair to someone. Perhaps that someone is...
So, seriously pissing me off, Helen and I just love something good. I like this is only so happy. It's happier.
Jeez, what a hopeless truth. Who is Monokuma's true identity? How could it come up with a plan like that? But that's enough reflecting on the past. Let's talk about the future now. If you want to escape Monokuma's plan, there's a specific place you need to go. The key to enter that place is that message you found at Mizumi Castle. Well, normally you need to follow a bunch of steps to enter that place. But since that message gets rid of those steps, you can only think of it as an Easter egg or something. It's probably left by someone other than Monokuma or Monami. That has nothing to do with it. You guys still think you're not gonna forget something? Well, you can stop. Don't stop. I had to hide this until my plan came to an end. I guess now's a nice time to announce it, right? So then, I'll announce the password.
Hope.
11037. That's the password that was written in Mizumi Castle. You have to use that to enter that specific place. That's the only way you can escape Monokuma.
I know where that number is.
feel like I've been talking forever, but that's all for me. With this, my duty is finished. I believe my actions will become the foundation of this world's hope. And if that really happens, praise me. Tell others what I've accomplished. Look, I've finished watching Ultraman Decker. I don't think I need to do that, okay? Thank you. Erect a bronze statue. No, I don't think so.
Please call me the ultimate hope.
Motherfucker! Sit your ass down! This was Nakito's final message. That 11037 number that Nakito said was the password? My hero, what the? Never mind. Yes. Call me senpai, nobody cares. There's no mistaking it. That's the password to enter that ancient ruins. That's what? Hey. You better hurry, I think. Let's go before the countdown reaches 0. You're right, let's go. Now's not the time to relax. I need to hurry to the ancient ruin on the second island. I can warp now! Oh, wait. Oh, dear. That's not the time to investigate. Oh, right here. So this is Hope's Peak Academy, huh? Somehow it's quite nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Is it really safe to go inside? What's going to be in there?
You are a boy, right?
It's so unreliable to be freaked out like that. You're a man, ain't you?
There's also that countdown! There's no time to stand around!
I'm gonna do it!
Damn right, it's our last chance to get inside! I'm starting to feel nauseous from the thrills, the chills, the kills.
You need to stay the fuck back.
Ah, if you're gonna let it out, why not do...
Oh dear.
Ah, if you're gonna let it out, why not do it in the Tupperware I keep with me?
You nasty motherfucker, you. Hey, now's not the time to fuck around. It's going to be alright. You don't have to worry. I will protect my young master. Good for you, Gremlin. Good for you. Now then, let us go forward together.
Shut up.
But hell, don't treat me like a kid.
This is the leader's order.
Believe that hope lies beyond this point. That is your leader's order.
We missed you, Ibuki. You were the true heart of the party. What was that? You little bitch!
I told her that you only understand piggy talk. I said you're so cool at piggy talk.
In the name of my family.
I'm going to kill you.
Hajime.
The password, please.
Yeah, I know. 11037, right?
It's gonna be fine.
There's no need for you to worry. The only thing beyond this point is a shining future. Now then, let's open the door to the future. Ben. Beyond this door, the future's waiting. It's called the Neo Geo. A sparkling future. Now then, let's move forward. But the world refused to change, and you're still hungry.
Is this a trial ground? But why am I at a trial ground?
It sure looks like a trial ground, but the vibe is way different than the one from before.
By the way...
Huh?
Where did everyone go?
Hmm? Everyone?
What? Something's wrong. What did I do? Do. No, that's not it. I'm not the weird one. What's really weird is this world? Oh yeah, the world is weird. I believe it, Jade. I believe it. Stage clear. Only 5 remain. Abandon all hope. Yeah, all ye trespassers. You obtain a present gamer's backpack. Chapter 0. Extra. Heading to the school trip. It'll be wrong to say it was swaying from side to side. It's actually shaking rather intensely. The room I was in was shaking from side to side. Extra episode. The shaking was quite irregular, just when you thought it was a series of small shakes. Did I just step into BioShock Infinite again? God damn it, why? It would suddenly shake violently. And every time that happened, I would have to steady myself with my foot. I couldn't stand up very well, but for me, it was comfortable. I never thought not knowing what to expect would be so fun, so I was feeling rather excited. Cloud Strife, is that you? I figured I'd get bored of that feeling soon enough. That's what I was expecting. For me, a person who's loved by talent, detecting regularities among irregularities won't be that difficult. Oh boy.
ships?
On the other side of the dark room, I heard a voice. It was clearly directed at me.
You look like you were having fun, so that's why I assumed. You do like ships, right?
Ships? Oh, that's right. So that's it. This is a ship. Welcome to Crisis Core.
You just realized that now?
Is it really that funny?
Hey, you want? Care to talk a little? The silence was starting to bore me.
Instantly I saw his true character. An over-familiar attitude, a friendly smile, but under that thin skin, I could detect a foul, offensive odor, like some kind of putrid slime. That's our Nagito! Insensible, of course. How should I put this? It was a smell exclusive to those who were already finished.
Nice to meet you. I'm Nagito Kameda. Anyway, lucky me. It's been a while since anyone was willing to talk to me. So to share a room with a person like that. Yep, I'm definitely lucky.
Lucky? Oh, so that's your talent then. What a born talent.
Born talent. Well, that's exactly what it is. I'm powered by RNG. You can call me 100% orange juice. But for someone I'm meeting for the first time to say that so suddenly,
That's because I have luck as well. Even if I possess a talent as boring as luck,
possess. I'm starting to get really interested. Who are you? You're obviously from Hope's Peak Academy too, right? So you're one of us? Ah, but that's weird. It's the first time I've ever seen you. Can you tell me why you're here? How'd you end up here?
how boring.
Sorry. I'm often told I'm terrible at making conversations.
Not you. This world.
Hmm?
This world is full of boring people. Yeah, that's how I feel sometimes. The world is full of boring people, but then there's the 1% I like to hang out with. People who lack talent stick together and oppress those who do possess talent. Even though they know they're insignificant, they don't try to acknowledge their true superiors. They're profoundly desperate to drag them down to their level. That's mostly anybody who's playing Modern Warfare 2. Yep. Or Dead by Daylight. And even, yeah, Phantasmophobia. It has a nice beat. And because of these bastards, this world has come to a deadlock. Most of them kind of think they're really called streamers. Because you play one game constantly, trying to grind. I'm not talking about the games we play. Oh, no. We're actually making progress. I'm talking about those who say, hey, watch me grind on a first-person shooter. Multiplayer. I'm trying to grind kills. For what purpose? This world has stopped evolving. Gamers have stopped evolving. We are the 1%. How boring. Well, the world is shaped by the will of the majority. It makes sense that it bends to those who lack talent. See, Hollywood. That's why we're in our present situation. Yeah, perhaps. Does that have anything to do with the reason you're here? Boring people make no contributions to the world, not even a speck of dust. That's why my teachers taught me that a certain degree of selection must be performed. It's like they had high expectations for you, huh? That's completely different from me. But what are you planning to do? Now that you ended up like this, there's nothing you can do, right? Listen well. Using people to talent too. Well, yeah, in a sense it is. It's now my turn to use that person, just as they used me in the past. Person. Are you talking about ultimate despair? But how? I mean, they already... I have it with me. The contribution that person left to me, even now, rests in my pocket. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm definitely lucky. I can't believe I'm speaking with someone as amazing as you. Then, will I be able to see her again? Oh yes, you want to see Dahlia Hartthorne come back, don't you? Will I be able to see the person I hate with every fiber of my being again? And this time, will I be able to kill her this time? The person I hate so much. Hate. Then explain your habit. This? The end of that bandage is a woman's hand. Isn't it amazing? I can't move it, of course. I mean, it's not my hand after all. But even now, it still hasn't rotted. So you're secretly Baron Ashram. Good enough. Hey, maybe it means it's becoming one with me. Isn't it amazing? I have successfully become one with ultimate despair, my sworn enemy. I see. So you salvaged the body. You really are a boring person. I don't want you to misunderstand. I just see her as my enemy, you know. Because she's my sworn enemy. Because I hate her so much. That's why I took her power. And for that I hate. Wait, huh? Do I hate her? That's strange. Huh. Or if I do it in a good way.
I look out the window. We're finally here. You're starting to see it too, right? That's Jabberwock Island, isn't it? Isn't it exciting? I wonder what's going to happen on that island once we get there.
What's going to happen? I can already predict what will happen. I already know because I am loved by talent. But no matter what happens, it's of no concern to me. I'll not be able to participate in what lies ahead.
Really? I didn't really understand, but I guess we have to part ways for a while. That's disappointing. You seem to get along pretty well. Can I see you again?
There's no reason we'll ever meet again. After all, you're boring. Your talents, thoughts, your entire existence is boring to me.
You really don't play along, do you?
And there you go, that was the extra. What is this? It's a door. There's a door. Huh. A door? Why is a door here? Where am I? How did I get here? Where am I supposed to go? Isn't this a classroom? Even so, it's a very strange classroom. Why am I in a place like this? I went inside the ancient room with everyone else. And I arrived at a place that looked like a trial ground, but then what? It's not connected. I don't know why I'm here. It's like there's no connection between how I left the trial ground and how I ended up here. It's just like before. And I do have an SIO gun. On PSP. When we were all gathered in the classroom just before we arrived at Jabberwock Island. But where's this place? It's somewhere on Jabberwock Island.
Testing. Mic check 1, 2. This is a test of the school broadcast system. Am I on? Can everyone hear me? Okay, well then. Welcome to Hope Speak Academy, you guys. At this point, I shall explain the graduation exam to you all.
What?
So please assemble at the gymnasium immediately.
Huh? Did he say what I think he just said?
Yes, he definitely said it. He said, "Welcome to Hope's Peak Academy." But why would this place be Hope's Peak Academy? And not just that, what is the graduation exam? Isn't the killing over already? Okay, I know where this is going, so, yeah, I'm actually stopping because I know where we are, but, I'm definitely going to leave that for... Are you freaking kidding me? I can't say. Oh, I was about to say. I was gonna say, I can't say. Oh, yeah. I'm definitely ending this stream. Thanks for coming out and staying with me as long as I have done this for the second half with the trial. And next time should be the very last of this series. So next Monday, we're finishing. Join me Wednesday when I do SRW GC. Until then, thanks for stopping by and have a great night. Sleep well, guys.